Welcome, everyone, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau, and it's a lovely day here in Sonoma. It's really a gorgeous day. It's June when we're doing this, and sometimes we have what's called June gloom, but today we had amazing June fabulousness. I have to think of something that rhymes. I should have practiced that, but here's what is going on. People were all around the plaza today. I came in through Petaluma. The hills were beautiful and undulating, and there were sheep out there, and everything was wonderful, as it always is in Sonoma. But today, folks, I have a very special guest star. And I know every week I say I have a very special guest star. This week, though, I actually really mean it. Amy Miller. Hello.
Hello, Tim.
Welcome.
So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Are you introduced that way every day at home with your husband and your kid? Special guest star, Amy Miller.
I could only wish. Yeah. Maybe starting tomorrow that will happen.
I will ask them to introduce you, like maybe when you come up for breakfast or something like that, or whatever it is. So hello.
Hello. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Amy, you're with Transcendence Theater Company?
Yes, I am the artistic director of Transcendence.
Okay, and that's why you're so artistic. You have for those that aren't watching YouTube, she has a beret on and a palette in her hand. She's doing
I'm a little
dance.
crazy.
Right.
I'm crazy. And I am the Transcendence came out of the brain here.
Yeah.
The creative mind. And
really?
then Brad, my husband's the executive director. And so many friends have helped make this possible.
For people who don't know,
yes,
let's go back to the creation story. What is Transcendence Theater Company and how did it start? Go.
Okay. Transcendence Theater Company, the word actually means something extraordinary. Okay. It's like going beyond usual limits.
Okay.
So the idea was how could you make theater bring a community together? How could you inspire people? Okay. We do shows at Jack London State Park and around the area in Sonoma, and we bring people together, pre-show picnic. We want people to have the best night ever.
Wait, hold on. Best night ever. So when you say you do theater, are you doing these dark dirge plays, these black box experimental theater and by No Exit, by Sarge, and stuff like that? What are you doing? What?
Transcendence has transcended that and is the complete opposite of everything you described.
Okay.
We want to just make people happy. We want to sing, dance, bring people together. We have a very inspiring feel. Hopefully people leave the shows, sing and dance their way out, and it makes their lives happier.
So it's happy, uplifting. Dare I say musicals?
Musical theater. That was my love since I was 5 years old.
Really?
Yes. When my grandparents, they showed me The Music Man. I remember eating Tootsie Rolls.
Wait, isn't that the guy
TV?
with the Music Man? He comes to town and he tricks the people about...
Yeah, it's kind of maybe it's not the best
I want to do that.
There's a lot of
Wait a minute, go on more. No, so you saw The Music Man as a kid?
Yes.
On the movie?
The movie
with Dick Van Dyke, I think
was eating. Robert Preston and Shirley Jones.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
and
I just fell in love. I made them watch it. 7 times.
Really?
It was on PBS and it ran every night. And I just loved it. Fell in love with musicals.
Okay,
dedicated my life to it. Danced on Broadway and national tours and around the country. And it was when we got to LA, we were doing TV and film more. Brad, who's my husband, and we just missed musicals. We miss theater.
So wait. Where did you grow up? What city were you?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
You're from Cincinnati. Why do you put? Can you answer for one of your crimes? Why do you put spaghetti in your chili?
Spaghetti in the chili?
Yeah. What's wrong with you people?
Well, the chili, I don't know if people know this, has chocolate in it. That's why people love it so much.
A secondary crime of Ohio.
I can tell you I don't eat Skyline chili or Gold Star chili. There's two of them. But little oyster crackers, and there's the 5-way, the 3-way, and the 2-way, and all these things.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, each of it has cheese on it.
That sounds delicious.
Onions on it.
So you escaped the chili belt.
Yes.
And because musicals inspired you. And you're
inspired me. We wanted to bring people together. We needed, and it wasn't going to happen in LA.
Right.
LA has so much theater.
Right.
And we ended up very serendipitous story. We actually went on a trip to Mexico. Do you know this story?
I kind of know this story, but I don't think my listeners do. But my understanding is there were 3 of you or 4 of you, and this was some sort of electric Kool-Aid acid test bus trip. You're a bunch of hippies, but instead of tuning in, dropping out, and whatever, you were like, hey, gang, let's put on a show, and we're going to go find a community to start theater, right?
Yes.
And so in my mind, you're sort of like a mixture of like Shirley Temple, Mickey Rooney going out and doing stuff or whatever, Judy Garland kind of thing, right? And then like, so you would stop in like Todos Santos, Mexico, and like you tumble out of this bus and you're like, tonight we're doing Oklahoma. And they're like, yes, that's Oklahoma. And so like you tried Oklahoma there, and then you'd go up to another city like in Tijuana or something like that. And you did, I don't know.
Well, we were really in one city. We went to two cities in Mexico.
So this wasn't like a traveling bus?
No, not at that time. There was no traveling bus then. We moved there for 4 months to do this project. That was
so you guys
very successful.
You're going to leave LA. Because you had been in LA for a while.
Yep.
And you guys all kind of knew each other from the theater world.
Well, no, I invited some people.
That you didn't know?
Steven. Yeah.
You didn't know Steven Stubbins before?
Well, we had met like one time, but I kind of sent out this vision to people. Like I didn't like know Steven. And Steven really was into it. And he quit his Broadway show, Mary Poppins. I was like, oh God.
Oh no.
You're quitting your show to move to Mexico?
Don't quit. Maybe go on vacation, Steven.
But we invited people. Some I was friends with, some we didn't even know. And we moved to Mexico just for 4 months. We weren't like moving permanently for 4 months. And we did this project. Then we came back to LA.
Wait. Did you perform in Mexico?
Oh, yeah. Anything we did up here in Sonoma, for the most part, we tried it out down there. We workshopped it. Musicals, the concerts, the community nights, the outreach projects, the kids' art programs.
Smart. Okay. This is like a little play in Peoria.
It's all on video.
Will it go down in Baja and then you bring it up here?
Because the Baja community, they gave us the theater for free for 4 months.
Okay. What town were you in Baja?
Punta Banda and La Bufadora.
Okay.
2 hours from San Diego.
Okay.
We went on a vacation there, saw this theater doing Nonsense the Musical, which was weird.
Okay.
We asked the lady we returned the key from, who we rented from, said, do you know anything about this theater? She's like, I know everything. I was on the board of the theater. And I was like, we're starting a theater company. And then she's like, you should bring your friends down here and do shows. And I've never been able to turn back from that moment. It was like this dream and then a free theater, and we just followed the adventure.
Okay. But you had been making money, paid money, in a job in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. I've been on Broadway, national tours. Right. We were in LA during this kind of hippie I'll tell you, we got in those RVs. We did do the bus thing. Okay. No, I booked over like 25 national television commercials. I mean, there was a time.
You've been in commercials.
From Walmart to Bank of America to Cadillac.
Really?
To on the inside cover of People's Magazine for HTC ads and Rolling Stones.
Do you remember any of your lines from those? From like from Walmart? Is it a rollback special?
Yeah.
Like what do you?
Well, I go.
Are they speaking parts?
And that's why I go to Walmart. Like when we were like, I have savings for my child. It was this whole thing. It's on YouTube still. Be like, and it's back to school, and that's why I go to Walmart.
That was great. Yeah, that was amazing.
That's why I go to Walmart.
Well, that's why I go to Walmart.
I was in What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas.
You were?
One of the commercials.
You were?
We're getting like married. We're getting like married on the altar.
By the Elvis guy or something?
No, it was at like a church, like a big wedding, and then they asked like, does anybody protest this or whatever, and everybody's just looking around.
I know that. Were you?
I was the wife.
You were the bride?
The bride.
You were?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So as the hippie this stuff was going on. Okay. Yeah, all of that. And I was on the newsroom and different things, and I miss some of those things too, the acting and everything, but we miss like the live theater, the connection, the community, versus just like auditioning every day for like setting brownies down or we would feed dolls like cough medicine, and like it was all great. And it got us up here.
It got you here.
It got us to
So you got the group of the hippies. You're down in Mexico. You weren't really hippies. You got Steven Stubbins, who's originally from where's he from again?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, he's from Cincinnati. That's funny. Your husband, Brad's from Baltimore, if I recall.
Yes,
okay,
that's
so you guys are down there in Mexico. You're like, let's try this out. You try it out. You do a bunch of shows and stuff like that. And then you're like, we should probably try to do this back where we have like legal residency
and can make a business.
And can build a business here. Right.
Yep.
So do you just like Sonoma would just fly up there?
No, here's the thing. Very quickly, it was 2008. The economy tanked.
Oh, did it?
Yes. Do you remember that? Does everybody remember when the economy tanked in 2008? So theaters were closing across America.
That was hard.
We did not have money to start like a theater company, and so we hopped in. This is, cool story. 2 RVs.
Right. Good. As you do.
We went across the United States doing a listening tour with the nation's largest theaters, smallest theaters, all these things, learning what was working, what wasn't working, and looking for a location.
Really?
So we went all the way across.
Were you guys driving, sleeping, everything in these RVs? Living in these RVs.
It's a good story.
You were van life before van life.
I'll never do it.
Yeah.
We're never doing that again.
No.
But we did it.
Okay.
And we ended up, do you know Oregon Shakespeare Festival?
Yeah.
And it is amazing. 100 years, in the
really
community.
Good. Yeah.
And then I will credit Brad as the smart one. He scheduled more time in wine country.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Because there was no big, real musical theater company here.
Correct.
Hollywood Bowl, outdoors, picnics.
Amazing.
And so along that journey, we decided wine country.
Okay.
Then we had to go back to LA. This whole story I'm telling you was 4 years of complete impossibility.
Okay.
We promised everybody this dream. You know me, I'm we're going to transcend all limits of space and time. And
being creative and artistic.
And we finally...
Space and time and money.
And money.
Right.
We would get in. We needed to decide between Napa and Sonoma.
Right.
We drive up on the weekends, look around, go to wineries, ask them if they like musical theater. People were like, what are you doing? We chose Sonoma.
Okay.
No land, no nothing.
Right.
We had to do little projects every Thursday. Brad's was event regulations was one of them.
Really?
We called the guy. They said a season of theater couldn't happen outdoors in Sonoma due to sound.
There's no rule that says you can have musical theater here.
They were like, no musical theater. And then, he was like, how do we get around this? And the first clue was state land. And then I was doing a report. You know me, studious Amy Miller from Cincinnati.
That's right, yes.
A report on outdoor theaters across America. It was 26 pages. And I had them all up, and the majority started in parks. So I typed in the parks on the internet.
Smart.
It was the day after the park closures were announced in 2011.
Yeah.
75 state parks were closing.
Yes.
And after 4 years, I was like, we're going to get
a chance. This is our chance. We can just buy a state park. So
I was like, now we're going to get a park. We came up here the next day.
Right.
We went to Sugarloaf. There wasn't really space there. Annandale. We met some rangers at Annandale that pointed us to Jack London.
Yeah.
Walked into those ruins.
Right.
It was impossible became possible.
Right there.
And then we put in for the next year, naturally, for a summer season. They said, no, you need to do this now. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
We had, this is totally Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland. We had $83 to the company's name. We borrowed money from our parents. We didn't have any. I mean, really behind the scenes. When I stood on that stage at Jack London for that October 1st I had $25 in my bank account. We had nothing.
We are down to our last box of mac and cheese.
And we were like, we're going to be, anything's possible. We're going to save the park. And so we had a fundraiser for the park. We had 6 weeks to pull it off. Our friends from Broadway, as well as us, came.
Okay.
Somebody wrote me in an email. She's like, honey, I know you're excited. We were trying to get wine sponsorships, all the things. We're going to save the park. And she said, but this is Sonoma. Only 100 people are going to come. And 900 people showed up that night.
Oh dear!
For the Broadway Under the Stars
problem to have.
concert, and the rest. And then from there, it's been 12 years of
doing amazing concerts, performances, I should say.
Performances.
But I should also say concerts because you have live musicians. It's not like you're plugging in Spotify lists here.
No,
you have actual people.
Yeah,
and you guys. So now, Amy, tell me what is years later, Broadway Under the Stars.
Yes.
Is what you're known as this program. What is it at Jack London State Park that what happens there? Take me through that.
It is probably one of the most magical, undoubtedly extraordinary open air theaters in the world. So you come into the park and there's this beautiful beauty ranch. You're greeted by the artist that you're going to see in the show, which is amazing. Then there's a whole 2.5 hour pre-show picnic. You can bring your picnic with you want. There's food trucks. There's wineries pouring. It's I call it the show before the show. Pre-show music.
Right.
Best night ever. You'll see me out at the picnic. I'll give you a hug. I'll say, are you ready to have the best night?
Thanks for coming. I was down to one box of macaroni and cheese 11 years ago. It's I almost, yeah, it was bad, people.
It was bad. It was
I was
crazy.
living in an RV with another guy from Cincinnati. It was terrible.
this is the best podcast ever, right? What we're on. And then you come in there, and then once you have that amazing pre-show picnic with the community, you walk into these ruins of an old winery, destroyed in the 1906 earthquake. It's just the basement walls of this winery. And we bring in a theater, stage, lights, everything every summer.
It's amazing. So it's these stone walls that were a winery on land that Jack London, the author, owned. And he loved it so much, he's still buried there. So it's Jack London State Park. You can see his old house. You can see another house he was working on in his works. So it's like there's already an artistic thing, but there's also a natural component because he was like a big farmer and he loved to try stuff out, and he had the money to experiment and stuff. And then so you guys are there kind of bridging, the natural beauty, because I mean, it's beautiful. The moon is up in the sky. There's the stage, the lights, the stone walls. There's a vineyard behind it. It's like, I mean, you're right. You could not script that any better, right? That's the perfect spot.
It is so amazing. So that first act, you can see the birds flying across the sky and the trees and the vineyards, and we bring in performers from Broadway, national tours,
just so people know, actual Broadway people. I looked them up. I'm like, oh, this person was just a couple months ago on Broadway doing actual Broadway stuff, and here they are in Sonoma.
Yeah, and they love it.
Yeah,
they love Sonoma so much, and they love the community.
Oh,
that first act is out there in the sunshine, and the sunset's going, and it's like magic, and people are like, where am I? And there's like
is this heaven?
Performers on stage who sold me a glass of wine.
Is that amazing?
And they're like, it's amazing. And then second act, I mean, that sun sets, and then that moon comes out.
Yeah.
The stars come out. It turns into like sometimes a rock concert for musical theater.
It is the best night ever.
It's the best night ever, and there's something just magical about it.
Tell me, do you guys do the same show every year, or do you guys change it around, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it changes every year.
Okay.
We do original musical revues, which have grown through the years. I'm sure you've seen.
Right.
They're all different types of music.
Okay.
And it's not all Broadway.
Okay.
It's pop and modern and Broadway songs, and then we're doing musicals again. It took 10 years. Full musicals.
Okay.
In a rustic setting. I mean, they're going to be unlike you've ever seen before.
Right.
But we hope to do more musicals. We did a chorus line. We're doing the full Monty this year.
Yes.
We were scheduled for Chicago before the pandemic hit.
Gotcha.
And we're going to get that back.
You're going to do it.
Well, the rights aren't available right now. There's a whole getting the rights for musicals.
Wait a minute. You can't just steal stuff off the internet anymore?
No. Get in trouble.
Really? So there's only so many per year that they give out or something like that?
Well, it depends on what the area is. So if Chicago has like a national tour going out.
Like, are they going to Stockton or something? Take that, Stockton. You guys can't have Chicago.
You can't do it in the ruins.
Which is kind of weird because Stockton, Chicago. Okay, so now I get that. Okay.
Yes. Oh. So anyway, that's a behind the scenes show business thing that people might not understand.
That's for our other podcast called Things You Didn't Know Existed.
Things you didn't know existed. Like the $25 on the stage at Jack London when I was there.
You probably don't even know that, but it's a good story. Good story. Okay, so you got this whole musical you're going to do, the Full Monty, which I know it as a movie. Was it a musical first and then a movie? Or
it was a movie first, and then it became a musical.
Got it.
It was actually when I first moved to New York, one of the first shows I saw.
Oh, really?
On Broadway.
Okay.
And the musical is like so different from the movie.
Oh, really?
It's still the same story.
It's still set in England?
Yep. It's set in Buffalo.
Oh, it is? Okay.
New York.
Which is, the post-industrial England of America.
Yeah.
It's Buffalo, New York. Because it's a bunch of down-on-their-luck steel mill or industrial guys, and they need to make money, right?
And they all got laid off. It's I know the show was on Broadway in like 2001. I think I moved to New York. Yes.
Okay.
2001. And it's kind of like now, like so many people have lost their jobs post-pandemic, all these things. And these guys are like, how do we make money? And they're like, we'll strip.
Right. And these are not Adonis, like, Chippendales. These are like the guy who changes your tires at the oil place or whatever. These are like normal guys. And their idea is to put on a review or a show where at the end they're going to show everything.
Yes, they're going the full Monty, but it's not just a stripper show. This is the thing. This is about like 6 friends, and they have an outrageous idea, and there's a whole bunch of stories about their relationships, their friendships, their wives.
Do they go in an RV to Mexico?
Well, maybe in this production.
Exactly, maybe exactly. We're going to go a little bit away from the libretto and do our own. Okay, so you got Full Monty performing.
Full Monty.
And that is happening this summer, right?
That is July 28th through August 20th.
And you're doing the Full Monty, the full show.
Yes, the full show of the Full Monty, and the moon better not be too bright that night.
Because for people who don't know, is it possible that similar to hair, are there people who are not wearing clothing? Are they in the all together, or can you not tell me this?
Well, everybody will know that end scene probably if they've
seen the movie.
Seen it and seen the movie.
Right.
So, I mean, you'd have to look really quick.
Gotcha.
Like, you don't know. There's a lot of theatrical lighting.
There's some magic
going on.
There's some theatrical magic.
So kind of the thing is, are they going to go the full Monty, or are they not going to go?
I like that. Stay tuned. Watch. You got to show up. July 28th through August 20th.
July 28th through August 20th.
That's the only way to find out.
That's right. It runs 4 weekends.
Okay.
So there's plenty of time to see it. I think it's going for people who haven't seen the musical.
Right.
It's so fun. I don't want to take the cat's line.
I want to see it.
You'll laugh. You'll cry. You'll have the best night ever. It'll be the greatest production of the Full Monty musical you've ever seen.
I love that.
I love it too.
That's great.
It's going to be fun.
Okay.
Yeah. We wanted something at this time that wasn't too serious.
Right. Some people need to laugh.
And they can cry. There's still heart to it. And hopefully it'll bring in a younger crowd, too, and open the theater up for
the next generation.
Yeah, but everybody's gonna love this. The Beat Goes On.
Yeah, so tell me about this one. I see it's June 16th through July 2nd, and what is The Beat Goes On?
Okay, it's the music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
so this is like
it's like the 80s, like last year or something, right? We weren't that long ago, were they, Amy? 80s.
Just wait. We weren't born yet.
Yeah, no, we weren't. That's right. Yet. We weren't.
People, though, our audiences, they're gonna love this. Okay. Anybody who's it's for all ages, but the baby boomers,
it's gonna be
there's good. Susan Drous has done a lot of our musical arrangements in our shows that have been big hits.
Okay.
She has worked on so many Broadway shows. Okay. Mamma Mia, Sister Act, beautiful, and she creates these shows, and there's over 72 songs in these interwoven throughout this show. So it's going to be a roller coaster.
And you guys, I've seen you kind of have like a narrative arc, kind of, right? So it's the same sort of thing. There's like a narrative arc, and the music ties it together.
Yes.
And so
the first acts, like the first section, obviously the 60s, you take the journey. I mean, Ed Sullivan makes an appearance.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Introduces the Beatles,
great.
The Monkees, all those things. I mean, Sinatra's in it, like all this stuff. And then it goes into the 70s.
Okay.
And then, the intermission's after the 60s. Then it's like 70s, and then it closes with the 80s.
That's cool.
And it's got everything from Michael Jackson to
all of it.
To Prince to the whole thing. And it's actually this year at Bellas Cavallis Ranch.
Oh, right.
This is something
tell me about
different.
That place. What's that?
So Bellas Cavallis is this amazing equestrian ranch that's literally probably 7 minutes from the park.
Okay. It's in Kenwood?
It's in Kenwood.
Okay, good.
And it's going to be complete Broadway Under the Stars, outdoors. They have a great space, the Sonoma Mountains in the background.
Got it.
The park was doing an environmental study that didn't get done.
Got it.
So for this production, we had to move there. So we're
Bellas
grateful for them for making
Does
that
anyone
happen.
come in on a horse and Horse with No Name is a song from the 70s, I think. So maybe
they should. We've had horses at the park, but it's an amazing place, and it's also a nonprofit that does horse therapy with children.
That's cool. Yeah.
So part of the tickets are donated back.
Oh, that's great.
So it's really great. It's going to be pre-show picnic, everything exactly like
Same
the park,
thing.
just
a
down different
the road a
location.
Bit. Okay, good. Yeah. I like that. And that's called The Beat Goes On, June 16th, July 2nd.
Yep.
And then I see An Enchanted Evening.
An Enchanted Evening.
September 8th through 17th. Tell me about that.
Doesn't that just sound lovely?
Is it like Some Enchanted Evening?
It is Some Enchanted Evening.
Is it? Yeah.
But we can't use that title.
I get it. It's an IP thing. So it's on Enchanted Evening.
On Enchanted Evening.
It could have been like it could be Enchanted Some Evening, and that way, like maybe it's, who knows, or Evening Some Enchanted. So tell me about this one then.
Well, this is going to be that beautiful kind of magical, like Broadway Under the Stars focus. Like it's going to have modern music in it still, but it's kind of our tribute to Broadway. Brad, my husband's directing it this year. Okay. It's his first time directing a show at the park, and it's just gonna be I would say it's an elegant night, but a fun night. Okay. As well. There's I can't give away some of the things in the show.
Brad's right now writing stuff down with ideas. He's got
they're listening to us.
They are. Thanks for listening, Brad.
But it's amazing, and we have just amazing talent that's going to come in.
Okay.
And
where do you find these people? Do you like just put like things up in Broadway, like sick of rats and dirty water dogs? Come to Sonoma. Like how do you get people to come in?
Well, it's always been through referrals only. This is how we started.
You're like the Amway of Broadway or something. No, how does that work?
We literally at the beginning, because we didn't have anything. We were like, you want to come out to wine country? We've got $200 for you for the. And I am not lying.
I know. I love this.
$200 will get you a flight. Come out here, sing. So it had to be like, hey, friends of friends, we're working to save a park. So people who could
kind of vouch for you.
We're here. We're starting a theater company, and so they would come out, and it's obviously grown through the year. It's been 12 years. The community has built this theater, brick by brick, brick by brick from the stone walls,
stone by stone.
And
we stopped at the wall.
But it's always been referrals. They send in videos. We have interviews. We need them to know that this is a contract where we connect with the community. They do outreach projects. They're out at the pre-show picnic.
Right. So this is like, it's not just performing on stage. It's being a part of the whole thing there.
Yes. A part of the community, and it's outdoors. They need to know all of this thing.
Do people know about you? Like if you go back to New York, are people kind of like vaguely aware of like, I've heard of Broadway Under the Stars?
They're not vaguely aware. They know.
This is it.
Yeah, because, I mean, I can't vouch for all
I'm Amy Miller.
Hundreds of thousands of actors. But it became this thing that they're like, okay, these people are out in wine country now.
Right.
It became a place, too, of rejuvenation for people that were ready to quit the business. They come out here. They connect with the community. They're singing outdoors under the stars. And then they go back and it kind of revives their spirits.
Which is what Sonoma Valley has kind of historically always been, a place to go, revive yourself and get away and rejuvenate. So
that's all the branding too. Sonoma County Tourism, Sonoma Valley,
we're like, come here, get some wellness.
Yes.
Disconnect from the world, reconnect with your, relationships. So
I mean, that's what Transcendence has done, and why a lot of the actors really want to come out here.
Right.
So it's interesting that we chose this area for that, and that's a part.
It was fated. It was written in the stars.
It was of course
Someone
my
should
hippie going in the RVs.
People just going around. Do you guys only perform in the summer, or are there other times when people can see you?
Yes, there's other times that you can see us. We're doing a Broadway holiday in December. We always do a holiday show.
Great.
It's going to be at the Hannah Center.
Oh, great.
It's going to be indoors.
Because it is night. Occasionally, dear listener, it does get a little cooler and sometimes a little bit more humid when it rains in the winter out here. So, usually November through April, we get a little bit of rain.
Yes.
And so probably better to do indoors.
It's better to do it indoors.
Unless you do singing in the rain, which would be really cool. But you'd have to have Gore-Tex. Yeah.
You need to talk to the rain. We went 10 years without a rain out at the park. And last year we had a complete rain out for our final show of the season.
Yes.
The community rallied together and we moved the majority of tickets to the night before.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this year, no rain.
Yeah, we had a wet winter. I think we're done with that. We had a wet winter.
The rain.
We did it. I've also heard, this is kind of weird, but someone told me that sometimes you guys perform at a big event in November here on the Sonoma Plaza.
Yeah.
It's called the Lighting of the Plaza.
The lighting?
Matter of fact, someone who looks a lot like you has been an MC.
Along with this other guy. He's got like this kind of scruffy beard.
Scruffy beard,
he's really
yes.
funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think I know that guy.
Yeah, so the lighting of the plaza, you guys perform the Saturday before Thanksgiving, and it's always a huge hit. Community loves it. You guys are always so professional, and you bring out such, I mean, just so people understand, it's not just singing and dancing. The musicians are like world-class, amazing musicians, some of whom both perform while like playing guitar and stuff.
Yeah.
Others are like legit jazz musicians in the back that can just riff and then and do Broadway show tunes and then do jazz, and it's amazing. You guys do a good job.
It's amazing. We've been lucky. Thanks for letting us be a part of it. I think Steven sang at the first one like on a box.
Yeah, literally in a box, and I think like some of this plug stuff in. Like
and he sang, and like, the lights went out, and then it's grown into how many people were last year? Like 5,000.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's funny because I'm up there on the stage, as you know. You can't really see the end because it's kind of dark back there because we have to light the plaza. But it's the entire plaza is full of people, and there's like food trucks, and it's just a really good time.
It's so amazing.
And I love that because you guys are there saying, hey, the art season, we are a summer performance, but it's not over, guys. We have a whole winter performance thing to go and to do stuff. So that's what I love.
Yeah. Oh, we love that. And we performed, the pandemic kind of halted a little bit of the performance. One we're doing this year, and we've done for, I think, 5 years now, is the Green Center 4th of July fireworks.
Oh, that's great.
Where we sing with the symphony.
That's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
The back door that opens up there. We had the Green Music Center on a couple weeks ago, and what a treat to have that venue here.
Oh, yeah.
In Northern California. It's world class. We're talking about it's like being inside of a guitar because of the way the acoustics work. And you guys are performing as like,
yeah,
that's great.
The first act is the symphony and just by itself, and then we join the symphony for the second half and do like a 40-minute set with them. Wow. It's so magical. And then the fireworks, and it was kind of a dream for us. The Green Center is like, you're looking at it and you're like, this is amazing. Yeah. A dream for us for Transcendence. I'm saying it's for people who don't know, obviously go to all the Transcendence outdoor performances, but go to the Green Music Center as well if you get a chance. Yeah, that's really cool. And we've been lucky through the years. We performed in Yountville at the Lincoln Theater, Marin Civic Center,
good one.
LBC.
Good.
All these places. So hopefully we can build back up to all those things.
You're a known entity.
12 years.
Really?
12 years.
And you still have just $200. That's amazing.
And it's just like...
the last box of macaroni and cheese. She's like, all I have is this right here.
No, we are lucky. Discount card for Transcendence.
Brought to you by Target, where I just did an ad.
No, we are so lucky. The community has made this together. I mean, it takes a lot of people to run this. We have over 12 full-time employees that live here year-round in Sonoma. We bring in, Brad is the business guy, but I mean, there's hundreds. There's like 200 people that come in during the summertime to do this. So
and they're in the community. I mean, you see the performers who are oftentimes will stay at people's houses here in town, but they're here walking around and like Broadway stars, and they have been in big shows.
Yeah, I mean, everything from 42nd Street. That's the show I did. We have a lot of Mamma Mia people. A lot of people who have played Elphaba or Glinda. In Wicked.
Okay.
I mean, everything. I mean, American in Paris, Hamilton, we've had performers.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, there's Les Mis, Phantom. I mean, basically a lot of
big, like marquee, no pun intended, shows on Broadway.
And then they perform here. People have very established careers, but someone like Q Smith has been a favorite for years. I'm talking, this is going back 2012, 2013. She hasn't been out here performing as much lately, but she workshopped Come From Away. Was in it on Broadway for the entire run of it. And people get to come meet the artists, become friends with them, because we have housing sponsors.
That's great.
Which house and become friends with everybody, and then they get to go to New York and see them in their Broadway show.
That's cool.
And it's really special. There's been a lot of friendships, relationships behind the scenes. People have of the actors. There's multiple marriages that have happened from people meeting here.
Okay, you could have the Transcendence marriages and babies.
That's right.
That's right.
Stu Musical.
I mean, you met your husband through theater.
Yep. And Naples Dinner Theater in Florida no longer exists.
This is true?
Oh, yeah. We were doing A Funny Thing Happened on the way to the Forum.
There'll be a comedy tonight.
Yeah, a comedy tonight.
So, really?
Yeah.
And Brad was performing?
Brad was performing. I had done Chorus Line right before it, and I stayed for that show, and we met. That was 2001.
Wait, Naples Dinner Theater?
Yes, in Florida.
Is
it parking lot?
I'm not trying to. There was like some ongoing joke about someone ended up doing dinner theater and they're doing like Death of a Salesman, and I can't remember what, some movie or play. Okay, so what is that like? Like, is it? I love Florida. It's a lovely place.
I love Florida.
My perception, though, is that it tends to skew a little more retired.
Yeah.
And dinner theater would start at like 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Or like they came at, I think like 5 or something, 5:30.
And was it a purpose-built theater or was it literally a parking lot?
No, it's a parking lot now because
you guys were so good.
Well, because
you guys were so good, they're like, we cannot continue theater here.
Yep, they crumbled the theater.
Let's pave paradise and put it in the parking lot.
It was that literally happened like 12 years after Brad and I left. But it was a dinner theater. People would come. We would do. I mean, it was like 8 shows a week or 7 shows a week.
Okay.
And they'd eat their dinner or their lunch. There were 2 shows. I mean, there's always a double show day on different days.
I mean, in a way, I'm not poo-pooing dinner theater because it is approachable. Because in a way, Broadway Under the Stars does have dinner at the food trucks and theater. And I think it is approachable and neat. It is kind of fun. I sit there like, in Naples, Florida. I love that.
We got married and we fell in love in Florida. I love Florida because my grandparents would take me to Florida. That's where I watched The Music Man, Nate.
Oh, right. Okay,
Florida,
good.
Madeira Beach. And then we ended up getting engaged on Sanibel Captiva Island.
Okay.
We got married there.
Oh,
have you seen our wedding toast? Did we ever? It went viral.
What?
I never wanted to share that because it was so special. It was like a flash mob. So my man of honor did his wedding toast.
You guys are so Broadway. Shut up. Wait.
It was before flash mobs.
You had dancers show up at the...
Well, my friends were...
Right, but were you
dancers.
like, Brad's like, let's go fishing on a pier. And so like you go fishing on a pier or something, and then all of a sudden one guy starts singing something like, la, and then like all the fisher people are singing, and you're like, what the hell? And then Brad's down on one knee, and no?
Not for the engagement. This was the wedding.
Oh, for the wedding.
There was no, even though your idea sounds great and I hope you do it. So, no, it was the engagement. The engagement happened. The wedding at the reception, my man of honor did a toast and it turned into a flash mob. Somebody who, the videographer, because I love video, that we had like 3 videographers there that night, and he posted it on his like
just
private.
Like, oh, check this out, guys. This is fun. Other video people.
He had other video people are on his website, and somebody, he was like, somebody made them hug their kids and kiss their husband.
It got leaked.
And so I was like, okay, and I was like, best wedding toast ever. And then I woke up the next morning and said 11,000. And
it's on this new channel called YouTube. Like, what's YouTube?
On, like, YouTube, and I was like, this has to be
MySpace?
crazy.
Yeah.
It was by the end of the day, it was 150,000.
For real? Is it still out there?
It's got I think 3 million.
I'm gonna find
views.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Best wedding toast ever, Amy's song. It was so special to me. I never wanted to post it, but it makes people happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I didn't know this. This is another little funny tidbit.
It's in the New York Times.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Wait. Okay. Right. Okay. That's great. Like whatever. Like I feel like whenever someone's like, remember like Arrested Development, the TV show, and they kind of parody different viral videos and stuff like that. Like kind of things. So I feel like your thing will eventually become a throwback somewhere in a meme somehow.
Yeah, a
meme.
Right?
Like somewhere that like your kids are like mortified. Like, oh my God.
They're like, what is this? Right. The reason to bring it up though, it was the day that the idea of transcendence came into being.
On your wedding.
On my wedding day. Yeah, because there was, it was like a heart, I called it like
Brad,
a heart explosion.
How are we going to pay for all this? Okay.
No, not paying for it.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, we need to do musicals. We need to bring people together. And that was kind of the idea.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Inspired at the, between courses at your wedding. I love that. Amy, if people have more questions or want to figure out how to get tickets, or I'm sure there's some place online they can find out about Transcendence. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, it's bestnightever.org.
Okay, night as in evening, not as in someone who was knighted by the queen or king. Okay.
Bestnightever.org. Right. And we have 877-424-1414 is the number. And that's how you call the box office.
Okay.
Also on the website, you can learn all about like everything from group sales. We have a lot of group
groups
sales.
there, like a corporate event, a wedding. People can show up and have a whole section over there.
Yes, they can have a whole section. They get a discount once you hit 10 people.
Okay.
People can get an area, you know, reserve picnic tables, all of those things. And if you want to do like we do wine clubs, corporate events. We have caterers that they can bring that in, and we can help everybody with that. And
I think I don't know if you still do this, but if San Francisco is doing a big event at Moscone Center, I think I've seen performers from Transcendence down there.
Oh yes,
performed corporate events.
Yep,
that's great.
We've performed a lot. We've performed for Google before at their holiday parties in San Francisco, so people can get us.
That's still available.
For that. That's still available.
Okay, yeah, very cool.
And we're doing Pride Night this year, which I'm very excited about.
Tell me about that.
July 1st. It's going to be a big community celebration. Invite everybody out. Even if you've seen the show before, come back.
Come see it.
And come support
Is it a
Pride.
different show than what's happening? It's the same show. The same show. Good. Okay.
So the beat goes on.
Thank you.
And we're working with face-to-face and positive images. There's going to be a lot of they'll be able to say hi that night as well. And we give a certain percentage of the wine sales to them as well. Support the nonprofits. It's going to be fun. We want to do more community nights. So that's July 1st.
July 1st. Thank you. Okay.
Then we have a kids camp. We have so many things, Tim.
The kids camp. We
do arts education.
Okay.
And it's Broadway Kids Camp.
Okay.
And that's in July. Information's on the website. It runs, there's 2 different groups, but it starts at 8, and we even have people up to the age of 18.
Okay.
They do a small performance.
Oh, wow.
Learn from the Broadway artists.
Okay.
And then the other thing you can see, if people are interested, we do a lot of community outreach. So this year, it's the Boys and Girls Club we're working with, Sweetwater Spectrum, which we've worked with in the past, and then the Mentoring Alliance.
Oh, good.
We're going to work with as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
you guys do a lot.
We do a lot.
Amy, you're amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. But you know what? I can't let you escape from this podcast without answering some more questions.
Oh, Harry.
Okay. So, Amy, you of course, have been wonderful. Tell me about how you started out and your hippie experiences and being at your wedding and having this like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. What you might not know is that we have 2 visitor centers, and people come up and ask us questions all the time. We have one in the plaza, one down at Vianza Winery, and we get questions from all around the world. We also get questions. People text us, they Facebook messenger us, they email us. So what I do on this podcast is you help me answer these questions, right?
Okay.
So this is what we call We Get Questions.
Questions.
We get questions. Are you ready? You have not seen these. I offer these to you ahead of time, and like a true professional, thespian actor, you said, no, Tim, we're going to improv this.
Okay, I'm scared.
You do it. We're off book. Here we go.
Okay.
Question we got literally today. Literally. I would like to do a birthday party on the plaza and bring a snow cone machine and a cotton candy machine. Are there plugs at every picnic table?
No.
So that was the question. They want to do a birthday party.
Can it be at the little amphitheater?
Well, that's a great idea. So the follow-up is, if not, where else can they go? So you're right, the amphitheater is a great one. And we do have an underused amphitheater called the Grinstead Amphitheater of live music there sometimes. I've always wanted a flash mob to show up and perform.
Okay. For an engagement.
For an engagement. And they're fishermen. I don't know. It all works out. So there's not plugs at every picnic table, but the plaza is a very popular place for events and for parties. You can't normally reserve anything. You kind of have to show up, but people do get there early and they kind of like sprawl there.
Right.
My recommendation is if you have to have a snow cone machine and a cotton candy machine, first of all, why are you not inviting me to this birthday party?
I want to go.
But there are other places you might look at, whether it's, a private place would give you the chance to have more control. But there is a place called the Sonoma Garden Park on 7th Street East. Yeah. And it's also a park and a garden, and they do have electricity, and it's a venue. It's run by a nonprofit, so you could probably get a really good rate there. But don't go to the plaza expecting a plug.
At every picnic table.
Because the picnic tables are kind of out in the middle of an 8-acre park. So, no. Like, even for lighting in the plaza, we have cords running everywhere because there's actually not a lot of plugs in a 200-year-old park. So, no.
Right.
Yeah, but I like the idea. I support that. Okay.
Me too.
Yeah. Here's a great question.
Okay.
Can you picnic at a winery? Which ones? Can you picnic at a winery? Maybe. Do you know any places that offer picnics? Maybe even with music.
Well, I'm at our picnic, so I don't get to go to as many.
Well, so you guys
picnics
are kind of a winery per se.
We are a winery.
But you are an event.
We're an event.
So
you can go take picnics to wineries.
Many wineries you can. What we recommend, is you call and ask, because some have their own food.
Right.
And just like you probably don't bring your own food to a restaurant, and I don't perform my own play at Best Night Ever. Right. That would just don't do that, Tim. Get your own state park. You don't want to, bring food there, but many wineries will allow you to bring in some food, or like I know Bartholomew Winery also has a park next to it, and you can buy a bottle and just sit there. Or in a lot of places, there are parks near wineries. Like in Kenwood, there's a beautiful community park that you can just sit outside, and there's a bunch of wineries nearby that you can go to. Oftentimes, people come to Sonoma and they think, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see vines, and I want to see a vineyard. And I'm like, oh boy, you are... You're going to see a vineyard, guy.
They're there.
Yeah, don't worry. So you can picnic at some wineries, but I would recommend actually just doing picnics at the parks, which again are overlooking vines often. Yes. And it's a good way to do it. But some wineries allow it. Otherwise, they have food available. Like Ledson sells food. Chateau St. Jean has food. St. Francis has food. I mean, I could go all the way down the valley. They all have things
they're
like that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Here's a great question we got.
Okay.
Today, moments before I walked in the door here. Here's their question. We are visiting from Brazil, and we love Sonoma. The wine, the food, the parks, and the people are amazing. Now, where can we get a tattoo?
You come to Sonoma to get tattoos. I mean,
they're from Brazil, and I guess they want to get a tattoo all of a sudden. Like I don't know if we've inspired them to get a tattoo,
or
they were like
vineyard.
They just
said,
of
you?
It's both kind of funny because they said, where can we get a tattoo? We're like, I don't know, lower back. An employer can't see, but it'll get saggy eventually. But I think they were asking for an actual location that provides tattooing in and around Sonoma. Do you know any?
There is one. I don't know the address, but unless it's just out in Santa Rosa, but there is one, right? Because one of my friends got a tattoo the other month. Yesterday.
And was it locally here? They got a tattoo?
I thought so, but I can't 100% confirm.
So there are some tattoo places in Sonoma Valley. There, I believe, one's called Rosa Grande Tattoo, which might be in the Springs. And there might be another one called Dedicated Art. I'm looking here online. So are mostly not exactly in Sonoma proper. Some are just outside the city limits. But yeah, you can definitely get a tattoo here if you want. And there's also microblading, which is not technically a tattoo, but that's really tattoo your eyebrows or something, or your eyelash, eyebrows. But I think if you want that, go to the Springs, which is great because the Springs has really good restaurants too.
Oh yeah.
So you can go to Sonoma Eats, get a taco,
and then get a wine tasting before the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because the tattoo
Sonoma
there.
Eats wine tasting.
Right, and then a tattoo. So I just love that they're from Brazil. So some people collect like spoons from they've been to different places, or shirts, right? Maybe they collect tattoos.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's great. Come on out.
You got to find out. Here's a question. This was weird. Someone came up to us about 2 days ago, asked me this question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Is New York a hell of a town where the Bronx is up and the battery's down and the people ride in a hole in the ground? Why were they singing a musical lyric to me on the plaza? That's weird, Amy. But
did they say that?
New York, it's a hell of a town. Sure, people sing songs to us all the maybe they don't.
Did that really happen?
Well, maybe.
No, you're making it up. You're making it up because I'm a thespian who was the president of drama club, who turned into a hippie. No, I didn't.
They did, and they show up. It was Gene Kelly. He showed up and he started tap dancing, and they were dressed like sailors, and they were. And I'm like, what is this? 1944?
It was a flash mob.
It's a flash mob
with invisible people.
That's right.
Sonoma Square.
It was amazing. Yeah, we don't get. I will be honest. Oftentimes, people don't ask us questions in the form of a 1940s musical lyric. But if they did, I'd ask you. I think New York is a hell of a town.
It is a hell of a town.
The Bronx is up and the Battery's down.
It's amazing. And then you ride in the hole in the ground. And there's Broadway.
And there's Broadway. Yeah, we do have Broadway.
Yep.
Our Broadway's a little different. We do have Broadway in Sonoma, and I do love that we have all those things. And Amy, that's actually a perfect, just wrapping it up from Broadway to Broadway. I love it. You're with Broadway Under the Stars from Transcendence Theater Company. Can you remind me again, if people have more information and questions about your program, how do they find it?
They find it at bestnighthever.org. And the number's 877-424-1414. And hope everybody comes out and joins us. And I wanted to say, we love Sonoma. It's like a dream to be here. This is the best community. Oh. Come here, support all the businesses and everything. And we're just so grateful for the community. So we can bring Broadway to Sonoma.
To Broadway.
To Broadway. We bring Broadway to Broadway.
Right there on the corner.
Right in Sonoma.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for being on the Sonoma Spiel. You're wonderful. Remind everybody to go to thebestnighthever.org and IGHT. And after you've done that, if you want more deals, special offers, and things like that, go to sonomavalley.com. Hey, if you're still listening this far, and I love that you are, like, comment, subscribe, tell everybody how much you love this podcast. Mom and Dad, thanks for listening. Seth, congratulations on graduating high school. And we'll see you all next week.